Hi, everyone, and welcome again to today's second live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting to you live from beautiful Budapest, Hungary. Hi, Begzad. Good to see a member in class. Begzad, we missed you in the members chat class. That was just before this one. Check it out. It's recorded. Will be up on the channel. All right, students, today, IELTS reading practice for Band 9. Hi, Ava. How are you doing? Good to see you in this class as well. Hello, everyone. Again, materials come from our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gielts.com for general IELTS. So just a really quick peek at those websites so you know what I'm talking about. This is our academic website for academic IELTS. Click that big red button to join it. And this is our general one here with the green background. Click that red button to join that. Okay, students, again, for members, this week we've started 3 classes on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can get our books from Amazon. Look for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. You can get our 6 practice exams in paperback version. If you have questions about the exam or our products, send me an email, ADRIAN, my name, at aehelp.com. Hi, everyone. Hi, Coral C. Hi, Lanthu. Hi, Warda. All right, again, just a quick peek at our schedule. So right now we're doing this reading class. Everybody is welcome to join and chat and comment. It's 15 to 16 o'clock according to Central European Time, CET. So if you're wondering about time zones, just type in CET into Google and it should tell you the time zone difference. Tomorrow, starting the day with the members chat class, task 2 writing, 13:30 to 14:30. Then listening strategy, and then again, more classes on the 13th. Okay, students, this is our passage for today. So waste not, want not. Let's get right into it. The passage is titled, Why Do Some People Have Red Hair? Okay, right away you should visualize. For many of those who are in the UK, you see more red hair than in other parts of the world. Many Irish and Scottish people have red hair. Why do some people have red hair? It is challenging, Begzad, to do both. I know. Not to worry, just whatever you're comfortable with. So, why do some people have red hair? Francesco, yes, you can use he, she in task 2, but not so often. So Francesco, ask me that question again tomorrow in tomorrow's members chat class. Amandeep says, red hair? No idea. Pablo Villalobos says, well, it's got to be genetic, right? I mean, the way that we appear is such because of our genetics. It's some sort of genetic mutation, as Silin Wang says. Preeti says it has to do as well with the weather. That's very clever, Preeti. Begzad says it has something to do with geography. That's why in some parts of the world people have red hair. In other parts of the world, they don't, right? So geography is connected to weather. Geography, weather are connected to genetics and evolution. So if I take all of what you're saying, then we start to get a clearer picture. That's fine. Students, let's practice our reading fluency. And let's just read with this British speaker. All we're going to do is just read the text with the British speaker, focus on fluency. This audio is CD4 tracks 6 for those of you that have our courses and products. So I'm going to play the audio out of my headset with a speaker. So just turn up the volume or use a headset if it's quiet for you. I'm maximum volume on my end here. So again, zooming in on the different parts of your online course. Here are the audio CDs, and it is CD4 track 6 if I remember correctly. Okay, everybody ready to do some reading? We're just going to do some reading, then we'll look at the questions and work through it together. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Why do some people have red hair? Red hair is an exceedingly rare trait, especially in areas of the world such as Asia, Africa, and South America. In Western Europe, however, red hair is relatively common. In some countries, such as Scotland, red hair is more common than blonde hair. Additionally, countries with historical immigration from Western Europe, such as the United States and Canada, also show high incidences of red hair. Red hair has been around for thousands of years, if not far longer. There are ancient Greek accounts of redheads, and even ancient Egyptian ones. The story of why people have red hair is interesting, and has to do with genetics, evolution, and geography. The gene for red hair is what is known as a recessive gene, which means that the gene can only be passed down to the next generation if both parents possess the gene. And even then, the probability is only 25%. But it is important to note that not only redheads carry the gene for red-headedness, rather, in some countries, up to 40% of the population carries the gene. This accounts for the birth of a red-headed child to non-red-headed parents. The parents may not be red-headed themselves, but they carry the gene. And if their ancestry was to be analysed, there would surely be redheads up and down their family tree. The specific gene for red hair is called the melanocortin-1 receptor, MC1R, and was discovered in 1995 by Professor Jonathan Rees at the University of Edinburgh. Gene is responsible for red hair, along with the other tertiary attributes associated with red hair, pale skin and myriad freckles, for example. But why did people ever have red hair in the first place? The answer, some scientists think, has to do with evolution and geography. The places where red hair is relatively common, Northern Europe and Western Europe, have lower sunshine levels than other parts of the world. This lack of sunshine resulted in a lack of vitamin D production in its inhabitants, exposure to the sun being humans' main source of the nutrient, which can result in rickets, a condition which can lead to the deformity of bones. One of the side effects of the MC1R gene is that redheads more easily absorb vitamin D due to the low amounts of eumelanin in their bodies. On one hand, this results in a particular predisposition to sunburn. However, it also allows redheads to avoid rickets even when underexposed to the sun. Redheads also have a number of other curious attributes that are associated with the MC1R gene. First, they have a higher tolerance for pain than non-redheads. Studies have shown that redheads require up to 20% more anesthesia for sedation than non-redheads. Second, redheads are more sensitive to cold temperatures. This is especially curious because red-headedness originally developed as an adaptation for cold, sun-poor environments. Evolution is not perfect, and it may be the case that maladaptation to cold temperatures is the price redheads pay for adaptation to low levels of sunlight. Third, redheads bruise more easily than non-redheads. There does not seem to be any evolutionary reason for such a trait, though it certainly does contribute to the negative stereotype of redheads as less physically capable than non-redheads. This is not the only negative stereotype that has cursed redheads throughout the centuries. At times in history, redheads have been thought to be witches, evil, unclean and soulless. Today, these stereotypes have thankfully given way to more cheery stereotypes of redheads as fun and quirky individuals. In recent years, a perception has been created that redheads are dying out and will eventually become extinct as a genetic category. This is patently false. Red hair, as a recessive gene, has the ability to skip generations and return in full force. Red hair has been around for thousands of years, perhaps as many as 100,000 years, and there are no signs of its forthcoming extinction. While redheads may make up a shrinking percentage of the world's population due to higher growth among non-European populations, the redhead gene is here to stay.
All right, students, so that is a reading passage 2 from the academic IELTS exam about redheads. Okay, so you can get these kinds of interesting topics. Hopefully you visualized a lot of what the reader was saying. What do you think about the speed of this person? Was it fast? Was it slow? Was it the speed that you should read yourself during the IELTS exam? So what did you think about the speed? Eunice says, I think that was super slow. Some of you are saying, that was slow. That was all right. Deshaun says, that was perfect. Well, here is the truth of it. That was actually a pretty good speed. Yeah, so Tashi Kunja says, I think that was normal. Let me tell you exactly what that was. Okay, so I'm going to do a super zoom in here on my screen so you see that I'm not just going crazy. And yes, you can see it at the top. So that reader read this passage in 5 minutes 46 seconds, so just under 6 minutes. Okay, that was just under 6 minutes. That means, Amandeep says, as a beginner, I found that was fast, but that means that you have 14 minutes to answer, I think it's 13 questions. Let me just check. 14 to 26. So yes, it's 13 questions. Okay. So that is definitely a good speed. You can even go a little bit slower than that. Okay. So let me make a note for you here as we talk about reading speed. So I'm going to clear up a couple of interesting questions that I often get from IELTS students. Okay. So question number 1 is, should I read the whole passage in IELTS to get a band score of 6.5 or higher? So should you read the whole passage if you want to get a band score 7 or more? Yes, absolutely. Okay, I am hoping that a lot of you are thinking, yes, you do. Yes. Yes, you need to read the whole passage and understand 65% or more to get a band 7 or higher. Okay? So yes, you do. Just to give you a more clear idea is skimming and scanning does not work for higher band scores and wastes a lot of time. That's the ironic situation, students, is some students think that skimming and scanning will save time, but it doesn't. Actually, in the end, it wastes a lot of time. Okay? So you have about, so how much time should I take to read the passage? That's the next question. That's my question number 2. So how much time should I take to read the passage? And as you just saw with this British person, they read it in 6 minutes. You can read it in 7 to 8 minutes, no problem. Amrit, 4 to 5 is too fast. Begzod, 7 to 8 is much, much better. Dasha, 8 to 10 minutes is fine. Yeah, so answer here in 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, that leaves you 12 minutes to answer roughly 13 questions. Almost a minute a question. That's lots, okay? That's lots of time. So 1 minute to answer one question, it's a lot of time, 60 seconds. If you cannot answer a question in 60 seconds, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to answer it anyway, okay? So 8 minutes is enough. Now, 8 minutes, if you think about it, that's 25% slower than the reader that you just saw. So just imagine that you're reading 25% slower than this reader. Eunice, I'm sure at this point, is laughing and hitting his thigh going, really? 25% slower than that? How slow do you want me to read? If you cannot read the passage, excuse me. Again, I must be telling the truth. I just sneezed on that one. So if you cannot read the passage in 8 minutes and understand about 65%, then you really have to stop and just focus on your fluency and comprehension. Okay? So you're not yet at a band 6.5 or 7 if you cannot read the passage in 8 minutes comfortably and understand about 65%. That's just the reality, okay? I'm not going to pull blinds over your eyes and tell you something that's not true, okay? If you cannot read, so one more time, if you cannot read the passage in 8-9 minutes and understand about 65% of what you're reading, then you have to just take a step back, focus on improving your fluency and your comprehension, okay? Because no tricks or tips or strategies in the world will help you get a 6.5 or higher, all right? Thank you for saying bless you, Begzod, Pachu, Amandeep, and Tina, and Tahura. Thank you for that. All right, so good. That's just to clear that up. All right, let's now take a look at the questions in this passage. So here we go. Questions 14 to 17. Complete the sentences below. Choose no more than 2 words from the passage for each answer. Okay, so this is a short answer question. You should read this type of question before the passage because all of the information is contained somewhere in the passage. So let's read it together. Okay, red hair is common in countries with something from Western Europe. Okay, 15. Something gene is one which can only be transmitted from generation to generation if both parents possess it. Evolution and something are both causes of the origin of red hair. In addition to red hair, the MC1R gene causes something to occur on the skin. So these questions, the answers are in the order of the passage. So this one somewhere in the beginning, going to the middle, and then finally near the end, okay? And that's the same for the yes, no, not given as well, okay? So yes, no, not given, we should not read before the passage. There's confusing false information, not given information in there. And then here we have a summary completion. Complete the summary using the list of words A to H. Then here we have our summary. Redhead misconceptions. Students, which word from the passage is misconceptions paraphrasing? So this word right away, even before we read the summary, this word is a paraphrase of a very important synonym from the passage. Which one is that? What is that word? Amandeep, very quick. Nice. Good for you. You don't need to write all capitals, Amandeep. I will catch it. I think you were maybe really happy to get that one, but you did get it, and good for you, okay? Diana, also, very quickly. Yeah. Just careful with the spelling, Diana, but it's good. Sana, yeah, absolutely. Stereotype. So stereotype is a close synonym of misconception. It can be true. A stereotype can be true, but stereotypes are often not true because you can't generalize to a whole population. So misconceptions is being paraphrased as stereotype. So that's the word. Exactly. Okay, students, let's read this. So redheads have suffered from a number of negative stereotypes throughout their history. Notable in some cultures, they were thought to lack a something. Today, conversely, they are thought to be enjoyable and something people. The perception that redheads are dying out is entirely blank because the MC1R gene is recessive and can miss something. Redheadedness has been around for thousands of years, and though the something of redheads in the world may decrease, they are here to stay. All right, who would like to read the passage one more time? Who thinks that we can answer these questions just by reading that one time? So what do you think? Let's see some votes. Does anybody want to read? Okay, say yes if you want to read the passage again, and write no if you do not want to read the passage again. So yes to read the passage again, no to not read the passage. Okay, so I see a lot of yeses, and I see some pluses as well. Shanze, I have to go with the majority here, and it's definitely an overwhelming yes. So we're going to read the passage again, students. Even if you feel like you don't need to, you can just maybe do something else for the next 5-6 minutes, and then come back and try it with the single read. So up to you. All right, let's read it again. We'll do it together, roughly the same speed. Now, I have a Canadian accent. The other person had a British accent, as you obviously realized. Focus on visualizing, okay, students? Let's do it together. And please read aloud with me. So don't just listen to me read. This is not a listening exercise. This is a reading exercise. So read loud with me. Why do some people have red hair? Red hair is an exceedingly rare trait, especially in areas of the world such as Asia, Africa, and South America. In Western Europe, however, red hair is relatively common. In some countries, such as Scotland, red hair is more common than blonde hair. Additionally, countries with historical immigration from Western Europe, such as the United States and Canada, also show high incidences of red hair. Red hair has been around for thousands of years, if not far longer. There are ancient Greek accounts of redheads and even ancient Egyptian ones. The story of why people have red hair is interesting and has to do with genetics, evolution, and geography. Can everybody hear me okay? How's my sound? Cystic Candy says that she's having trouble with my sound. Anybody else having trouble with my sound? If not, I'll just keep reading. Marina says it's okay. So Cystic Candy, I think it's maybe on your side. All right, so we'll carry on. Here with this first paragraph, at least you should focus on where redheads are found around the world and where they're not. So where do we find redheads? Just let's answer these couple of questions. Okay, where are more of the redheads located? Okay, hopefully you visualize this. So Europe and Simranjit, what do you mean historical immigration? So Europe and where? Not in Asia and Africa, Amandeep. Asia, Africa, there's not a lot. In Western Europe, in Scotland, and Tina, thank you very much, in North America. Kamal says in Chicago. Yeah, there's a lot of Scottish Irish in Chicago, Kamal, so you're not far off. Yeah, so historical immigration from Western Europe, such as the United States. So when it's telling you about regions where red-headed people are more common or not, you should visualize that. Okay, so you should see that. Okay, here we go. Let's keep reading. The gene for red hair is what is known as a recessive gene, which means that the gene can only be passed down to the next generation if both parents possess the gene. And even then, the probability is only 25%. But it is important to note that not only redheads carry the gene for redheadedness. Rather, in some countries, up to 40% of the population carries the gene. This accounts for the birth of a red-headed child to non-red-headed parents. The parents may not be red-headed themselves, but they carry the gene. And if their ancestry was to be analyzed, there would surely be redheads up and down the family tree. Just one question before we get to the next paragraph. What is this paragraph about? What's the main goal of this paragraph? Now or Never is asking, what is the definition of a recessive gene? A recessive gene is a dormant or a sleepy gene. It's not a dominant gene. Bupara Shah says it's about the gene. Samir Bell, nice to see you in class. Samira Bell says it's inheritance. It's genetics and inheritance. Inheritance is a very good answer, Samir. Absolutely. So it's the inheritance of the red-headed gene. Okay? Students, it's really important to master answering specifically and exactly the what question. Okay? That's a really important skill for reading comprehension. Okay, so my tip here is master answering completely and specifically the what question for each paragraph. Okay, so here for paragraph B, it is about the inheritance and nature of the gene for red-headedness. Okay? So that's what it's about. So be specific. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. All right, nice and smooth. Here we go. Continue with me. The specific gene for red hair is called the melanocortin 1 receptor, MC1R, and was discovered in 1995 by Professor Jonathan Rees at the University of Edinburgh. This gene is responsible for red hair along with the other tertiary attributes associated with red hair, pale skin, and myriad freckles, for example. But why did people ever have red hair in the first place? The answer, some scientists think, has to do with evolution and geography. The places where red hair is relatively common, Northern Europe and Western Europe, have lower sunshine levels than other parts of the world. This lack of sunshine resulted in a lack of vitamin D production in its inhabitants. Exposure to the sun being humans' main source of the nutrient, which can result in rickets, a condition which can lead to the deformity of bones. One of the side effects of the MC1R gene is that redheads more easily absorb vitamin D due to low amounts of eumelanin in their bodies. On one hand, this results in a particular predisposition to sunburn. However, it also allows redheads to avoid rickets, even when underexposed to the sun. All right. So, interesting paragraph. Why do people have red hair? What's the main reason? So, what is the main reason for people having red hair, according to this paragraph, in your own words, in the most simplest way? Now, we know this. Why do people have red hair? It's not deficiency of vitamin D, sana sohail, and I saw a couple others say that as well. It's to cope with the deficiency of sunlight, right? So to make up for the lack of sunlight, that's right, Nana, so that they can produce vitamin D more easily, right? More easily, that's right. Okay, so let's keep going. Here we go. Redheads also have a number of other curious attributes that are associated with the MC1R gene. First, they have a higher tolerance for pain than non-redheads. Studies have shown that redheads require up to 20% more anesthesia for sedation than non-redheads. Second, redheads are more sensitive to cold temperatures. This is especially curious because redheadedness originally developed as an adaptation for cold, sun-poor environments. Evolution is not perfect, and it may be the case that maladaptation to cold temperatures is the price redheads pay for adaptation to low levels of sunlight. Third, redheads bruise more easily than non-redheads. There does not seem to be any evolutionary reason for such a trait, though it certainly does contribute to the negative stereotype of redheads as less physically capable than non-redheads. So when I read this paragraph, I should realize that it will be very important for some of the questions that I'm going to answer. So because I looked at the questions before I looked at the passage, which questions will this help me with? So which questions will this help me answer? This is important. Which questions will this paragraph help me to answer correctly? Anybody? Well, hopefully. Yeah, that's right. Pablo, thank you. Pablo says it will help you with the summary completion. Yeah, the misconceptions. That's right, Samuel. Did you on? Very good. Yeah, Tina, excellent. Yeah. So, should I stop and should I suddenly jump to my summary completion question and then start from here and start doing this? No, absolutely not. Okay. Yes, it will help me with this, but I should not just suddenly stop and start filling these in. Don't jump. Okay. No, don't jump. Finish reading first, then go through the questions. You can come back to this after. Okay. So don't jump, just finish. Keep it in mind that that's where you'll need the information. Okay. So let's keep reading. Especially we're close to the end of the passage, so we might as well read it. Again, remember, 8 minutes. Okay, 8 minutes. So don't jump. Just keep reading. Especially because you realize that this is also important for the summary completion, right? So this is not the only negative stereotype that has cursed redheads throughout the centuries. At times in history, redheads have been thought to be witches, evil, unclean, and soulless. Today, these stereotypes have thankfully given way to more cheery stereotypes of redheads as fun and quirky individuals. Quirky means kind of fun in a cute way, in a cute kind of way. Okay. Last paragraph, conclusion. Let's do it. In recent years, a perception has been created that redheads are dying out and will eventually become extinct as a genetic category. This is patently false. Red hair as a recessive gene has the ability to skip generations and return in full force. Red hair has been around for thousands of years, perhaps as many as 100,000 years, and there are no signs of its forthcoming extinction. While redheads may make up a shrinking percentage of the world's population due to higher growth among non-European populations, the redhead gene is here to stay. Okay, and we're done. Notice this interesting use of the dash or the hyphen here. Okay, that means when you see this dash, it means that this piece of information, this phrase, is a detailed definition of this element here. So being around for thousands of years, in more detail, perhaps as many as 100,000 years. So you use this, it's like an adjective clause, which is giving more description. So it's like a descriptive clause. Keep that in mind, okay? All right, Kyber, yes, there are 2 classes each day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. First one is members chat class. Second one is for everybody chat. So that's why there's 2 classes, okay? All right, students, let's answer these questions together. So again, another important tip is when you're doing this correctly and when you're understanding about 65% of the passage from your 10-minute read, then you should be able to answer at least half of the questions without searching the text, okay? So red hair is common in countries with something from Western Europe. So remember in paragraph 1, we remembered that redheads are common in Western Europe and where else? You said North America. I remember a couple people said North America, right? So with something from Western European countries, so the word is immigration, yeah, or historical immigration. Very good. Cystic Candy, Diana, fantastic. Yeah, historical immigration. Now, if you know the answer, but you don't know the spelling, please check the spelling. So please go back and check your spelling if you're not sure, if you don't remember that it's 2 M's, for example, in immigration. Harmeet, what did you get? Number 15, a something gene is one which can only be transmitted from generation to generation if both parents possess it. I have a feeling many of you know what this is. So what is the answer for number 15? Very good, Eunice. Very good, Samuel. Very good, Cystic Candy. Very good, Kirti Dagar. Yeah, it's recessive. Okay. Not the MC1R, Mansoor, because that's the specific gene. But here we're describing the recessive gene. Okay, not the specific gene for redheads, but we're describing the recessive gene. Okay. Again, if you're not sure about the spelling, go back and check it. But you should get the word recessive. Okay. And just for those of you to learn the vocabulary, the opposite of recessive gene, it's called a dominant. Okay. Dominant gene coming from the word dominant, which means to overpower. Dominant genes, of course, only one parent needs to have that. So dark black or brown eyes, dark black hair, those are dominant genes, okay? All right, evolution and something are both causes of the origin of red hair. So number 16. Hamza, Lan, everybody who's typing up geography. Harmeet, that's not a bad score. You need to work on your writing, obviously, but it's not a bad score. Okay, you should be proud of that. 6.5 means you're a fluent speaker or a fluent user of English. So good for you. You'll do better. Just work on that writing. Geography is good, ladies and gents. Geography is good. Okay, so geography it is. Geography it is. Geography works. I'm going to switch up markers here. This one's dying. So geography is good. It works. All right. Not geographic or Simranjit. Careful with the word form. If you write, because it's nouns, right? Geographic is an adjective, so you need the noun here. You need evolution and geography. This is a noun, so this has to be a noun as well. Noun and noun, okay? This tells you that this is a noun, because with and, you need parallel grammar. So if this is a noun, this has to be a noun, okay? Number 17, in addition to red hair, the MC1R gene causes many something to occur on the skin. What happens on the skin? And there's a number, there's got to be a number because it's many, right? So pale doesn't make sense, Aidana Sidibek, because pale is not countable. Preeti says freckles. Cystic Candy says myriad freckles. Myriad is not right. Okay, because myriad is a synonym for many. So don't include the word myriad. Just say freckles. Okay, so freckles. Now this is one that if you're not sure, you want to go back and see if you got the answer for these ones. Remember, if you read the passage in 8 minutes, you have 1 minute for each of these questions. So that means that if you don't know this word, this is where you can spend a little bit more time to look for it, okay? Now, at least I should know by reading the passage where this information is. So before I look for this, instead of trying to skim read the whole passage, where should I look? So where should I look for freckles? What part of the passage do you think that will be? Harmeet, there's absolutely writing help on the website. So just absolutely, yeah, we can help you. Just start using the website, okay? So some of you are saying it's in paragraph 3 or body paragraph 2 maybe, right? Okay, so let's take a look. Here's the introduction. Introduction talks about the existence of red hair. Then it talks about the genetics of red hair. And then it talks about what is connected to the genetics of red hair. And look at that. Surprise, surprise. Right away, pale skin and myriad freckles. So my answer, Freckles. Freckles. Spelling is good. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy that many of you remembered it was paragraph 3. That's why you should read the whole passage, so that even if you have to skim and scan, you can find information quickly. All right, so historical immigration, recessive, geography, freckles. Thumbs up. Good job, students. Let's keep going. Okay. Here we go. Rock and roll. Here we go. For the yes, no, not given. Yes, no, not given. We have to figure out if it's important for the passage. If it is, then it's given. If it's not, then it's not given. If it's given, we have to figure out if it's true or false, and then we'll know if it's yes, the writer agrees, or no, the writer doesn't. Okay, excessive sunshine causes rickets. Is it important for redheadedness to understand whether or not sunshine causes rickets? Is this important for the passage? Answer that question first. Is it important? So we say, yes, it's important, or no, it's not important. Aidana, excess means too much. This means too much. Okay? Excess, too much. Yes, it's very important. So yes, so it's given. So yes, important. So therefore it's given. Okay. Is it true that too much sunshine causes rickets? Is it true? So is this true? Would the writer agree? Would the writer say that, yeah, that does? ACL Posse says, no, it's false. No, it's false. Sunshine is the opposite, right? So sunshine is what we use for vitamin D, and that's why we do not get rickets. So it's not too much sunshine, but it's lack of. Okay, it's the opposite. It's lack of sunshine. So it's false. So don't write false. Careful, please. Oh, please, students, do not write false in your answer sheet or an F. It's no. Okay, so write no. No, this does not agree with the writer. The writer says lack of sunshine causes rickets, not too much sunshine. Okay, so the answer is no. Clear, hopefully, for everyone. Okay, number 19. High amounts of eumelanin is known to help absorb vitamin D. So high amounts of eumelanin is known to help absorb vitamin D. Is it important to know eumelanin's role in absorbing vitamin D? Is that important? It's something connected to this rickets. Remember, we read about it. So yes, it's important. Okay. So it's important. All right. Is it true? Honestly, I don't know. Okay, I have no idea. That's a tricky one. I can't remember that much detail. If some of you can remember that, good for you. You're smarter than me. I honestly cannot remember that much detail of what I'm reading to remember whether or not high amounts of eumelanin or how that connected. Even this word is strange for me. It's not a common word in English, but I know I can search for it, so I can definitely look for that word. And again, this is where I can take a little bit of more time because I'm going nice and smoothly. So I do know it's important. I do remember that. I do remember that it's in the passage. And I know I can search for it because it's a unique word. It's a long word, so it's an easy one to search for. Where should I look for it? Where is this information? I read the passage. You're very welcome, Harmeet. I appreciate your compliment. So I think this will be in the second or the third paragraph. It's somewhere in the beginning where it's explaining the reason for redheadedness, right? So somewhere in the second or third paragraph. So I'm going to go back and take a look just to be sure. So again, before we search, okay, just remember the actual. So high amounts of eumelanin is known to help absorb vitamin D. Okay, let's look for whether or not that is true. Okay. So I'm looking for the word eumelanin or emulanin. I can't even pronounce it unless I'm reading it. So I look through this. Okay. Nice and slow, just so I don't miss it. All right. I don't see it there. So let's just keep going. All right, so here I'm again scanning a little bit. I'm looking for that long word that starts with an E. Now it's a little bit easier for me, of course, because I read in English much more often, but so far not so good, okay? So I don't see it in this one here either, unless I missed it. Okay, so now I'm going into the next one here. Did I miss it, students? Can somebody tell me? Where was it? So some of you are like, yes, it was there. You missed it. Red tie. Thank you. So let's go back. Which line did you see it? Oh, there it is, near the end. Okay. Thanks for the help. Just making sure you're paying attention. Okay, so now when I find the word, notice that it's coming at the end there. The period is there. So of course I have to jump back. Okay, don't just look at the word and read from there, but jump back. So let's see. One of the side effects of the MC1R gene is that redheads more easily absorb vitamin D due to low amounts of eumelanin in their bodies. So here it's low amounts of eumelanin help to absorb vitamin D. So it means that it's a negative correlation. So the lower the eumelanin in our body, the higher our vitamin D absorption. So now I have my answer that it's false. Okay. All right. Warda, I'm not sure what your question was. Sorry that I missed it, but I'll try to catch you next time. Okay, so now I have some assurance that I know the right answer. So there we go. High amounts of eumelanin? No, it's low amounts. So it's no. So no, no. Next one. Redheads have difficulty adapting to their environments. All right. So is that important to know? Do you think the writer is going to talk about the ability for redheads to adapt to their environment? Even just the statement itself is very awkward if you think about it. So you should come up with the not given. Okay? The writer didn't say anything about the efficiency of adaptation to their environment. So they didn't say it was easy or it was difficult. It's Quan Yuan. You're right. It's not given. There's nothing there. Okay? So redheads are less physically capable than non-redheads. Is that important for the passage, whether or not redheads are physically capable? Was it talked about, this last one, number 21? Is that talked about? Yeah, it is. It is talked about. So these last questions are a little bit tricky at times. It's talked about. So it is given. It's important for this passage. Is it true? Is it true that redheads are less capable physically than non-redheads? No, because it's one of the stereotypes, right? So this is a no. So interestingly, in these questions, there is no yes. So it's just no, no, not given, no. Okay? No, no, not given, no. Ava, yes, it's not true. Okay? Some redheads are extremely athletic. I have a couple of friends, one good friend in Canada who is an incredible surfer, and he's a redhead. So it's absolutely not true. It's just a stereotype. Okay, it's just a stereotype. Nothing more. All right. Okay, students, doing fantastic. I hope that you're kind of picking up these steps, these skills that I'm teaching you on how to figure out answers to these questions. So how the logic works to figure out these answers. Okay. Here's the last questions of 22 to 27. This is the summary completion. And here are the choices. Okay, so A, false, C, cleanliness, E, true, G, generations, B, quirky, D, proportion, F, soul, H, number. Send me what you think the answers are. Sorry, this should be a 26 here. It's the wrong number. So here's the paragraph again. This video will be available on the channel. Complete this last question on your own from the passage without my help, okay? And then send me your answers by email, and I'll give you the answer key. I'll let you know how you did, okay? So it's a little bit of a challenge for you. to do the summary completion question on your own. And again, send it to my email, and I will send you back the answer key, and then you can see how you did and what you missed and what you didn't. This is my email here. It's adrian@aehelp.com. Students, you've done a fantastic job. Again, remember, to get high bands in the IELTS reading section, you have to read the whole passage. You have to know where information is contained. You can't just skim and scan the passage over and over and over again for every single question. That's ridiculous, honestly. You have time, so just practice reading and understanding in that 8 minutes, okay? Again, check us out at aehelp.com. Get all the right lessons, all the right strategies, all the right tools to help you succeed in your next IELTS exam. Spend a couple dollars to save a lot, okay? The IELTS exam is expensive, and good materials cost money. Join the red button there to join our academic IELTS at aehelp.com. And for general IELTS, it's this green background here. Click that big red button. Tomorrow, again, 2 classes. First one, members chat. Second one, everybody can chat. It will be task 2 for the members. And I believe we are doing listening, practice, and strategy after the members chat class. So thank you so much, students. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day or night. Sweet dreams to those of you who are getting ready for bed. Remember to brush your teeth, floss, rinse, stay fresh, stay happy. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.